Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Mind Over Matter episode 9. I actually know what episode it is this week. I paid attention. I looked it up. Hello, welcome. Today's a very special day, kids at home, because we have a guest. Wait, we have a guest. We have Jack in here from Dire Roll. Why don't you go ahead and tell the class a little bit about yourself? I really do feel like a teacher right now with a new student coming in.
I'm Jakin. I'm the Dungeon Master, Game Master, whatever you want to call it, over at Dire Roll, which is a Sunday weekly role-playing game stream that I run with 4 players. We've been going on for like 3 years. We're in our 4th campaign, 4th or 5th. Now I need to look it up.
I couldn't tell you which. I couldn't tell you which number this campaign is. We're way too deep. We're way too deep for that.
It's confusing as well.
I feel that. We use all these tokens whenever we do fantasy stuff, typically our D&D, which is I guess how you got my contact information, because I contacted you.
Yes, yeah, that's how we
all those years ago to ask you permission.
Yeah.
And so here I am. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. I think this campaign's a great opportunity for just random people to join. Other content creators we love, not random people.
No, we're random people.
That's really true. You know, everyone else in this campaign are just people I know.
I'll accept either moniker, really.
Okay. Let's do a little recap. And actually, I'm going to do a bit more of a recap for anyone new. This campaign, Mind Over Matter, takes place in the Underrealm of Jarviskjir, a place very different to, other copyrighted underground sections of fantasy worlds. In places like Faerun. The big difference being that around 6-7 years ago, the Usurper Elves, the Deep Dwarves, the Deep Gnomes, and the Ebamari, the Mind Flayers, signed the Treaty of the Deep, binding together in an alliance against the surface creatures, the world on the surface. This has mostly created an age of prosperity. And this party are agents of the Ebamari, the Mind Flayer nation, particularly their kind of leader, or at least spokeswoman, Olxua, to kind of do diplomatic duties out in the world that she can't do. As such, you're a colorful group of individuals and, a rotating number of diplomats from different places. Right now, you're actually in the Usurper Elf city of Narashiro, or kind of slightly outside it. You're here investigating the disappearance of Spiderkin, a race of humanoid spiders that don't really get along with the Usurper Elves, despite similar religions, all that sort of thing. So, curious enough for Olxia to be very interested, and Oshun, being a priestess of the Usurper Queen Ivrith, is of course very invested in this. Maybe she's a little spidery to herself as well. What happened last week is that you followed the trail with your new help, a death-obsessed samurai by the name of Drea, and discovered that there is a factory nearby that's been set up in the most recent years, and the factory was being attacked by what best can be described as nature spirits. Not quite Fae, but very similar. In the process of defeating them...
Oh no.
Did I die for a bit?
Just for a bit, yeah.
Whatever.
Best described as a nature spirit, and then you froze.
And then I kind of vogued a little bit.
Yeah.
I may have brought the curse of technical difficulty.
Oh no!
That's a common one.
This is all the time. This is our life. In dispelling them, in dispelling nature spirits, your psionic sorcerer Ashal actually realized that there was kind of a coalescence of spiritual consciousness right? Is the best sort of way to put it. That was attracting these creatures to the factory, because of course there's a heckin' factory in the middle of the forest, the fungal forest. And you, in your brilliance, are planning to not just remove it, getting a deal with the Needster who runs the factory, a strange little shadowy creature that none of you trusted as far as you could throw him, which is probably pretty far. You have a plan using your is it sage background that
Yes.
you can coalesce this consciousness into something physical. You can take the ethereal and turn it material. And that's just, a thing to have, right? That's just sorcerers doing sorcerer things. But you need time to prepare. So you have left Tumulus and Drea at the site where this the spiritual creatures are emanating, being both summoned and coming from the occurrence. And you are also yourself heading back to Narashiro to meet with Oshun. Oshun had a little rest, Oshun had a little rest. And that's where we start off today, with you returning to Narashiro to find Oshun, Ashal, to not only kind of update her on the situation, but also you're going to need to go to the noble district at the top of Narashiro to find a gemstone with the right qualities for you to complete this ritual. So, Ocean, I imagine you would still be more or less where we left you, right? The bottom of Narashiro, the city of usurper elves, a place that is more caverns and ruins than town, but is also where the low income workers of the elves live, and are quite welcoming to Ocean and quite enjoy her presence and all that sort of thing.
So I think you pop in. I think she would just say, Ashal, I'm feeling much well rested, and I think my feet are much more reduced in size. How's the search been going?
We ran into a complication.
That sounds like the usual.
Yes, a factory in the forest was under attack by nature spirits. We have a lead on the spiderkin, but to save the factory from the nature spirits, I have returned. I need your help to get to the upper levels of the city and find an appropriate gemstone for my magic.
Right. That's how I just did the Diana rights. So, go to the factory, sort out the mess, find the stone, find the little ones.
Find the stone first while
stone.
we're here. Return to the factory. I can probably coalesce the energies in a couple of days. And then go on.
Would I know if divine help from any of the priestesses would assist this?
Yes, because this is pretty much the only culture in the world where the priestesses of Narashiro are encouraged to study arcane magic. So it could be possible to bring some arcanist mage priests with you. You don't know if you have enough clout, though, in the city to really do that. That would be... You would have to do some, you know, diplomatic maneuvering. But, and also you don't know how a Charles magic works, right? If you had a wizard and you hired other wizards, wizards can... It's all interlocking, right? Wizards can help each other very
Charles
easily.
doesn't know how Charles magic works, so...
You know Charles is not a wizard, right? Narashiro
You're
has...
not a wizard. Damn it! We can't do those references anymore.
You could never do Harry Potter references here. I was always suspicious of him. Now they're fully forbidden. You know that Ashal's not a wizard because Narashiro has a lot of wizards. You spent your life growing up here among wizards. A lot of usurper elves. They do literally smell different because magic has a scent. A subtle scent to them.
From behind the mask, there's just...
Well, Ashal has the slight smell around him of a stormy sea. A smell you wouldn't recognize because you spent your entire lives underground. But he does. But that is a direction you could take if you were interested in doing so. Yeah.
No sense in not asking for help if we're able to get it. I wouldn't expect anything though.
I do not know how the magic of your goddess will tally with my own.
Fun. Let's go! She's very peppy for an enormously pregnant 8-foot woman.
I am all for magical experimentation in a controlled environment.
You're right. Safe, sane, and consensual. I'm just going to take this rope off of you that I was using to pull you along. Because that you have no traction.
Yeah, because Ashal is floating. So if you just pull him hard enough, he's gonna just drift. So, do you want to go to the Holy District first, see if you can drum up some mages, or do you want to go with Ashal to the Noble District above the Holy District to try and buy some gems? It's also totally possible for you to get gems in the Holy District. It's just, that would be less going to a boutique and more trying to get some deals and diplomacy and schmoozing with the priests. And the majority of the priestesses hate you because they're jealous of you.
Yes, but they also hate each other. I think I'm gonna go straight back to my friend, and also, like, as we're going up, we might as well hit the tier as we pass through it and scout around. Why are you looking at me like this? I can tell your tentacles have retracted up your nose.
Yeah, give him that just like a blank, like stormy grey eye.
I have expression from behind my mask.
Okay, on the way up from the
Mask
lowest point in the city,
intensifies.
you will stop in the Holy District, dominated by ivory white churches to the usurper queen of Idrith. There is actually...
Cinnabelle!
well, on your way to Cinnabelle, you hear a voice being carried through the Holy District. It's not radio. It's a series of magically enhanced pipes and tubes with kind of outputs all over the Holy District, and probably a lot of other places in the city. And you can hear a speech going on. The speech is, of course, in Elven. Do you speak Elven, Ashal? Is that like the one thing you don't understand? Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm pretty bad with common languages. I just know all the weird ones.
All the weird ones?
Yep.
If you connect to my brain, can you get 1 second weird audio delay of the translation? Where you're like, I hate this.
You can think You can relay to him because telepathy is language agnostic. So you would so it'd be the same as just repeating what you hear anyway, just inside your head.
With the commentary of, what a weirdo. Why do they look like that? Why are they speaking this way?
So it's up to you, but I imagine you would relay. And you hear a very intense woman's voice say that today we mark a day of celebration, for the cities of the surface will know now true fear. We celebrate the day of spring blood. The surface city of Aradia has now known the blades of usurper elves. This war is no longer theoretical anymore, my sisters. And we shall make these greedy elves of the surface cower first. But let it not be mistaken. They may be our enemy, but we are kin as well. Those who have gone against my orders on the surface, against the orders of the Daimao, are being punished, as you can see displayed within the Grand Church itself. This will not be a needless bloodbath. This is one step on taking the surface. And the speech does continue with a lot of religious rhetoric. And all around the Holy District, priestesses, and also other people, because it's not just priestesses here. There's people who are visiting on their worship. There are people who are trying to sell their underrealm cabbages, you know, all that sort of thing. But they're like standing by these speakers and listening, and there's also a congregation by the front church. You imagine that big hall in the middle of the grand church is probably where this individual is, and while you don't recognize the voice, you are pretty sure, Ocean, that it is the Daimao of Narashiro, the cultural leader, High Paladin Kato. The person who seceded, or is that the right one? The person who's taken control after Lathura Dorneb.
I was gonna say, do I know this fool?
You know of them, right? Because you kind of got the gist of how the city is now after being away for a long time. Kato would have been one of those people you would have known of. Kato was basically not one of Lathura's inner circle, was still a very important figure. It's kind of surprising that she's taken control of the city because she's a paladin. And usually the Daimao would be either a priestess or just like a noble. But it's kind of fitting in an age of war. And you've already met the new shogun as well. You know, Narashiro is really ready for war. It's not like... Because you knew it before, Lathura would rile people up for war, but not all that much would actually happen. Sometimes it's better to get people excited for a war and not really go the whole hog. But there is a war with the surface now. It's definitely happening.
I'm gonna introduce myself to this fool. Just gonna, like, raise elbows and, like, just...
Barge through the crowd, yeah, as an 8-foot woman can do.
Ashal is going to hang back. Well, no, Ashal will... Has it been a day since the fight or not? I don't think it has it?
Not
I
really.
made my way straight back. No.
Yeah, you made your way straight back.
In that case, you don't get an enhanced ability. Ashal's just hanging back.
As you're heading through the halls of the church, you see off to the side what she was talking about. Up, pinned to a pillar, is a usurper elf soldier. A knife is floating through the air, empowered by magic, slowly removing strips of skin. The signage denotes that essentially they committed war crimes up on the surface, right? They entered too much of a blood rage and were a disgrace. And didn't follow commands and all of that sort of thing. They're really being used as a, showing what happens if anyone else does this, right? But you can continue even closer, and that would be where you see the speech kind of coming to the end, and Commander Kato is up on a balcony where the speech is going forth. The whole room is designed with enough kind of organ pipes and things that the voice transmits very, very well. Commander Kato is fairly unassuming looking. White hair is up in kind of like a braid bun. Armor is high quality, ivory white, well made, decorated, but not extravagant. Did you lose me again, or just lose my face?
Yeah,
it was a very intense look. It was very intense.
Commander Kato. Armor.
Yes.
Ivory white, decorated, pretty, but not extravagant.
Addressed as High Paladin or Commander?
That's a good... She was Commander, now she's High Paladin, but she would also probably still answer to Commander, because she's really now Commander of the city, right? As she's leaving, she's going down these stairs, another individual kind of walks up beside her.
Bitch. I was here first.
But there's no conversation, but they're clearly close, because Ocean can tell these kind of things. Ocean can feel the love in the air. A large, broad-chested usurper elf male, who looks like they might be a samurai, but they're not wearing the full armor, right? They're kind of wearing, like, some parts, but not, like, the chest piece and the shoulder pieces and things.
He's got his arms tucked into the top of the yukata.
Yeah, that kind of look, right? That kind of look. You know these things better than me. I'm just stumbling through all of these descriptions. And they head down together. When it looks like you're coming to talk to Kato, he will step in front in a kind of protective way and put a hand on the katana that he has on his side, because of course. But not in a necessarily super threatening way, but in a, protective way. He will kind of look down at you.
Down?
They're up on stairs still, so maybe they're equal. Maybe they're equal. Maybe they're equal. They'll look at you, and will ask. You can make it plain. I know you wish to speak to the High Paladin.
Hi, Paladin Kato. I thought it was about time that we were acquainted. I recently returned to the city, and it's fortuitous that we arrived at the same time. I left for my ascension, you see.
He looks back at her. She crosses her arms slightly. And you could tell it takes her a moment. There's an elven pause. The elves are very comfortable. Yeah, a good 5 minutes pass, and somehow it's not awkward for the elves. As Charles awkward anyway, so it doesn't really matter to him. And
my hair.
Yeah, Charles like mum's like at shopping and has found someone to talk to at the supermarket, and Ashal is you as the kid, kind of like behind mum's leg. We've all lived it.
He pressed himself back against a pillar and squidded away into the color of the pillar.
Kato will kind of make put a gentle hand on the back of their companion's shoulder and step forward, but still also have a hand on their weapon, which appears to be a engraved metal rod rather than like a sword. It kind of looks like a small mace. You are Ocean, correct? I recognize.
My reputation precedes me.
I remember the talk of the city when you ascended. Yes.
Yes, there has been much talk. I'm interested to know, well, I suppose your opinion of me doesn't matter. As long as we're acquainted and you know that I'm at your service.
I would expect nothing less, priestess. Perhaps another time, when there are less pressing matters to attend to, we could discuss how you could serve Narashiro more.
Understood. May I inquire, what did this poor being do to deserve such a fate?
Hunted down innocents. The attack on a radio was against guard posts. They went and charged through a market, slaying anyone they could. We are to cause terror, yes, but not indiscriminately.
That is difficult.
Don't worry. They'll live. She says, pointing to the individual being flayed.
You must know that it causes me great pain to see suffering in another. Could it not be more... It is bold of me to suggest, I know. But I simply must ask, would it not be more beneficial to understand this being rather than torture and execute? If we know why someone does something, we can prevent it from ever happening again.
It is within one of our many holy books. Primarize Primer 288. To think your duty is done when your breath is last is folly. Her duty is not done. Her duty now is to inspire the correct attitude amongst our soldiers, and especially our priestesses, who may hear the words of Idrith quite clearly, but might hear them in a way that inspires insurrection.
Can I inquire more deeply into your definition of insurrection so that I can fully understand your views?
It's simple. If you do not follow the commands of Narashiro, not only me, but every superior, then you are at risk of insurrection. Now, we can discuss this further in the future. I'm sure you would find a proper way to arrange discussions with me, and we'll...
I'm looking forward to our heart-to-heart.
Yeah, raise a gauntlet. It makes a kind of like clinking sound, and we'll leave with their companion.
Those in power always find a way to couch their own desires and priorities in broader language to make them more palatable.
It is true. I don't think I can do this just yet. But part of the reason why I wanted Oshun to be a grave cleric was so that she could administer death when necessary. Am I able to do that?
I mean, what spells do you have attuned today? Is the question.
I don't think there's any specific ability.
There's no specific ability, but if you had, like, inflict wounds, you could do it. You do have gentle repose.
Great.
You do have gentle repose, which, while gentle repose is not, is for the dead, right? It's a ritual to protect the dead. But,
prepared.
You know, I could definitely see Oshun casting a ritual, basically using a spell slot of that, actually consuming magic, to kind of both lessen their suffering and almost in a way increase the meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of this act, rather than it being just kind of violent, because there's significant meaning behind this act. you can definitely soothe this soul, right?
Yes.
Which is Ocean's purpose, in a way that...
And that's actually better, because, like, it's more complicated than I assumed.
Yeah.
So I can't be like, I spite you.
Yeah. And also it would set a pretty interesting precedent to the priestesses watching you, knowing what you stand for, and kind of being weirded out by it. Oh, she likes people. That you kind of offer this forgiveness and understanding, but not necessarily forgetting what they've done and understanding it, right? I get that. I think that's very much something Ocean would do.
Cool.
Do you still want to see Cinnabelle, or do you want to get up to the higher parts of the city?
Let's pop into Cinnabelle. We can, like, ask if there's anything that she can do. Anything, like, to do with
the ritual.
Gems.
As you go, boo, you see Cinnabelle. You're,
We go.
yeah. You see Cinnabelle, big, Lamia MILF. Easiest way to describe for the new people in the audience.
Yes. Big, Lamia, MILF.
It's the easiest way to describe her. And it's literally like one of the, like, we kind of could skip a lot of conversations, and it's I know where to purchase a lot of gemstones that look pretty and that offer protection. What you're looking for is almost the opposite of summoning. We don't have so many mage priestesses in the Serpent Order. We more focus on protective magic. Protected glyphs, perhaps. I don't think anyone of my order would be able to necessarily help you without enough time to prepare. That would make it kind of pointless, honestly, darling.
I might get a tramp stamp for one of those.
Like a protective magical glyph.
Protect that ass!
Yeah. Like someone like smacks you on the ass and they take like 8d6 explosive damage. I don't think that's... I don't know. You don't really get anything from Cinnabelle. You can head further up in the city. Boo! But...
to admire your wonderful visage.
Yeah, you just wanted to see your wannabe snake girlfriend.
The unspoken fiance.
Yeah.
You said wannabe snake girlfriend, like she's not actually a Lamia. She's in like a onesie. She's
Wannabe
like
snake.
Oh, she wants to be a snake? Yeah, okay. Now, with the two of you, both Ashar knowing exactly what he's looking for, well, exactly-ish, and Ocean knowing the city, it's very easy for you to get to the noble parts of Narashiro and look around and look and find what you're looking for. You need a boutique selling a variety of gemstones, and that is the kind of thing that thrives up in the highest part of Narashiro, an area of the city high enough up that you have a clear sight of the aether vortex swirling above it in the ruins on the cavern's roof. It kind of bathed the city sometimes in a little bit of pinkish light, which honestly just suits the dramatic statues on the side of every building and the very deliberate shapes that are either very sharp or kind of designed like webs or kind of end up casting a shadow that looks like a face, right? This part of the city, every building is a piece of art. And one piece of art you find is a particular gem store by the name of Oslo's Opulent Emporium. There is a sign outside of a usurper elf with much larger ears than normal, more like a gnome's, with a nice, polite smile. And you can head in, and there's a little bell that rings, and it is a boutique store that specializes in gems, gem cutting, and everything of the sort. You can immediately start rummaging around, I imagine, Ashal, right? They have a little bit of everything. They have, cut gems, raw gems. There are like places for gem cutting as well. You could bring a gem here to get cut. They have some gems that already have magic to them, or gems that was like, okay, this is for like the wizards of the city, right? This gem would be better attuned for enchantment due to the shape that we cut it in, and that exact thing is exactly what you're looking for. As Ashal is browsing in Oslo's opulent emporium, Ocean, what would you like to do? Would you join, or would you kind of like hang? What's the plan?
I'm ready to lend my clout when it is necessary to lend my clout.
You're like eyeing up the shopkeeper, waiting to, you know,
I'm just
charm.
Gonna be, like letting exactly charm. Just gonna.
Okay. The shopkeeper is Oslo. He looks exactly like he does on the sign. It's not like a caricature. He just has really big ears, and he is like a sort of. Oh, I'll get to you in a moment. Don't worry. There are also other individuals in this store. Not only other people shopping, because it's a fairly busy store, but little crystal-y creatures that kind of hop and flutter around the room, cleaning up displays and all that sort of thing. For Ashal, you'd recognize them as mephits, crystal mephits. They have like manacles and like a binding necklace that looks like jewelry, but you know it's keeping the summoning magic, making them behave.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yeah. Don't worry, it's not weird. They're elementals. You're gonna spend some time in here, Ashal. It's probably gonna be at least an hour. I don't imagine Ashal is like the kind of person to ask anyone for help. Ashal knows what he's looking for. He just needs to find it, right? You need to find the exact right thing. And I'm going to ask you in a bit what the crystal you need looks like and what type of crystal it is. So here's your homework. Think on that. Bogdan, I don't know how you feel about being in Narashiro, the city of usurper elves, as a dwarf. But maybe the noble quarter high up in the city is a little bit more your comfort range. You know, a little bit more respectful. Ever since you were given your summons, you have been trying to look for these two. And you...
Glorious timing.
I recognize that one. You've been looking for these two, and, you can see through the window of the store, like, marbled glass.
I can. Slow enough?
It's low enough, but also Ocean is 8 foot tall. So
yeah.
You really can't miss her.
She's probably putting things on her stomach. Just see if they stay there.
Yeah, you know, comparing it to the gems that are already on, like, your like, stomach jewelry.
Yeah, people think that she's doing that, but really she's just seeing if they will roll off.
Bogdan, why don't you describe yourself first of all, and then get up and introduce yourself.
Okay. Bogdan is just kind of he has the typical charcoal skin of a deep dwarf. He's got black hair with streaks of white, kind of salt and peppery. The token, the picture says 1,000 words. Yeah, he's armored. He's got a stern look in his eyes. He's not one for humors, and he's not looking forward to joining the party by walking into a store and shaking hands. That's not his ideal way of introducing himself, but in he strides.
There's a little ding, 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 ding over the door.
He does find that every single door in this entire city is both too tall and too narrow.
Yep.
You and Ocean can bond over that.
Yeah, Ocean also doesn't fit in many doors.
Wedge.
What has Bogdan been told about these two other than
you have been given a couple of psionic messages from Orcsua that I can actually repeat to you if I can find them in my notes. I'll actually just send it to you. You know, you can be open with what you've been told or not, but this is what you've been told by Oxua. There was also probably another message being a little bit more specific, because you can reply, right? She casts sending on you, but it's psionic sending because she has a big brain.
So I don't know their names?
You don't know their names, you just know, you know, your favor is being pulled, you know? It's time for you to do a favor. Right.
I've been activated.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sleeper agent.
Gosh. Wait, thanks for the tee up.
Well, Ocean, you would notice him enter, right? Armored dwarf. You know,
I thought you were gonna say you'd notice him watching you through the window, like they make awkward eye contact.
Ocean is too oblivious for that. Ocean would never notice that at all. You might have been there for like half an hour. Ocean probably wouldn't have noticed. Ocean is
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
you know what you want to say.
Yeah, exactly. How covert is this team? Is
It's not really secret. Yeah, it's not known about.
So everyone knows,
but it's not
these
secret.
Two are Oxua.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
They know
I'm ready.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like if you say that you're. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, if you say that you're from Oxua, everyone kind of understands if they know who that is. A lot of people in Narashiro probably don't know, but anyone who's kind of connected to global politics or underrealm politics would be able to go, oh, okay. They actually have like a badge. You don't have a badge.
Yeah, and that is how we've introduced ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been coy about like who we work for. It's like, hi, here's our badge, let us in.
You've been a little more coy, I imagine, Bogdan, because it's kind of how you are. But I think you know not to be coy now, you know.
Yeah. And this is my city.
Right.
I am known here.
Yeah.
I thought I would have more friends.
Well, once I'm in the store, if I make eye contact with Oshun, I will try to make myself a little taller and step forward.
Yeah, but dwarves are always trying to do that.
Yeah. We have really bad back problems because we're always doing this. You know?
Yeah.
Oh god, I have to do that.
Ocean, the little guy approaches.
So Oshun is just going to sort of turn her head towards you, and basically just below her, like, floor-length white hair is this sort of steel-top jeweled band with like a load of red braids coming down. I basically just ripped it from Fire Emblem. And they just move towards you and acknowledge your presence.
Okay.
It's like you can feel that she's looking at you, right? Yeah, you can feel the eyes, but you don't actually make eye contact.
I don't want to impress any feelings upon you, because if you strongly feel that you want to be like distant or anything that you want to do, but Oshun's vibe is mum. So if there's any deep sort of twinge of or like anything, that is Oshun's vibe. Your mum looks at you, or if not your mum, the mum. Oshun is the mum.
All right, well, that's going to confuse Bogdan, because I don't think he had a great relationship with his mother, but...
That's just what I said in chat! Everyone, it's like, oh, I'm the mum, everyone would like me. Everyone in this campaign has mummy issues. Everyone.
That's what I live for. I don't want the easy, oh, wow. I want the...
Yeah.
Why do I feel safe and yet so ephemeral?
Safe anxiety.
Safe anxiety. I've never felt safe before. I don't want a hug. Why do I need this hug?
All right. Locking eye to bead, he says, I'm looking for the agents of Oxua.
That are we. How may I help you?
All right. He plants his poleaxe firmly onto the floor. He says, I am Prince Bogdan Alabaster V, rightful heir of the Blackjaw, and I have been sent to aid you.
Let me just update my notes. My, what a wonderful title. And everything I sound sarcastic. Oshun does not sound sarcastic.
Well, you know, you're a usurper elf at heart. The sarcasm doesn't come all the way out. Elvish, like Underrealm Elvish is just, you know, assume sarcasm.
It's that mom sarcasm that you realize was sarcasm years later, and it scars you.
Wow, I really like your new haircut.
Why? Fantastic. Ashal, come and meet our new friend.
Ashal like jerks up, like nods, goes back to looking at the gems.
How are you looking at the gems? So there you go.
But
That might be frowned upon to tentacle the
it's
gems
not
in the
bad.
store.
But you can tell what Ashal is thinking because they'll look at like a certain gem and like it'll go, and then at another one it'll just be like,
Oh! Suddenly adorable. That is really cute.
Happy little sorcerer shopping.
Yeah. Oshun hasn't offered to help Ashal because she wants him to do it by himself. Yes, fantastic. I mean, the more the merrier, as they say. We are just getting a gem for my spellcasting friend here, and then we'll be on our way to what I assume is a factory in the forest. Anyway, this may not seem like a diplomatic mission to you as such yet, but it definitely is. We are coalescing into the crunch point of finding Spiderkin because I want to. Yes! Fantastic!
I assume these Spiderkin are the missing souls I was told about.
Yes, that is exactly it. And if we return them safely or find that they've moved on to more Spiderkin-friendly areas, if you understand me, the sooner we can move on to our next mission.
I see. How can I be of service?
Well, right now, I don't suppose there's anything you would like to buy from this fine establishment while we're here?
Not at the moment.
Fantastic. She's like, another quiet one.
At this point, Ashal does pick something out.
What do you find?
I would imagine that it would be because the idea is to like coalesce and potentially be able to transfer the essence into like one of the mini brains in a jar.
Either
or
the
something.
crystal or the brain in a jar, depending on like how well you do.
It would probably be something that had like lots of facets. It's cut like so because to make basically in the idea that light goes in, bounce, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Science.
I imagine that because Ashal is on a comparatively tight budget, it would probably be not the like highest quality in terms of color, so it would probably be like a sort of smoky greeny brown or something. Also
Yeah.
fitting with the whole nature thing.
Fitting with nature,
Bargain bin
but
Arcana.
yeah, something that the high fancy nobles here, they're not gonna buy a muddy green gem.
Exactly.
But the price is still gonna be a lot when Oslo comes up to you. Like, ah, excellent. Would you be liking to purchase this then, my friend? That would be 60 gold for this one.
I will offer you 50.
Ah, a haggler. There's a haggling, but sometimes there's a knife involved. You could give me a persuasion check, Ashal, the squid
Can
man.
I lend my help by just standing behind Ashal, like...
I'll allow it because I know you've been wanting to do it this whole time. Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Oh, good.
8.
8.
8. I'm afraid that all prices are final, so it will be 60 gold.
Ashal slumps,
Darling,
but does reach into...
if you need any help...
No, I am just loath to part with money. I have not... Well, it is...
That is very sensible.
We do have a membership program for both aspiring and accomplished mages.
I am... That is tempting, but I do not know if I will be in the city enough to make it worthwhile.
We do accept a yearly prepayment on the membership program.
I imagine that is beyond my capability to pay.
I imagine that too.
Ashal will pull out 60 gold.
All right, you do get a receipt. You get a
Unlike
receipt.
you, I didn't spend all of my money on a palanquin for the beetle.
I spend all of my money on a palanquin for the beetle, but aren't we all so grateful about it?
With that, it's funny you mentioned a palanquin. You can take the palanquin to the factories. You're going to spend some time there. So Bogdan, as you
Prince Bogdan, beetle friend. Beetle friend, Prince Bogdan.
Oppa.
Oppa!
beetle.
Yes!
So great server beetles are the size of an elephant. They're massive, very long legs, so that people can walk under them. And on the back of it is a palanquin, a tall curtained structure with kind of couches inside for comfortable resting and travel, with a roof and everything.
He is I imagine him personally as like a velvety stag beetle.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Oshun says, "You may brush the beetle if you like. I find it very soothing." Tally ho!
Yep.
Bogdan has
Bogdan
nothing to
actually-
say.
No, doesn't have anything to say, but he's probably like, oh, we'll get to travel in style at least, you know.
There's
Settles
like
in.
little gruffs of approval, like.
Oshun's like, she's not going to touch you, but she'll put her hand near the ground where you're sat and just say, "I can tell someone else appreciates traveling in comfort."
When I ascend to the Blackjaw, I shall not travel any less.
She's just going to give you a pillow. There are throw pillows.
He takes the pillow and immediately puts it on his lower back.
Ashal, meanwhile, has like sort of eyed you a couple of times while sitting in the palanquin, but will just be like furiously scribbling notes in a ratty old journal. Just like planning
Oshun's
what
like,
to do.
This one! This one gets it!
All right. I actually think that's a great place for us to take a little break
chocolate.
for a couple of minutes to get a hot chocolate or a glass of water or whatever you wish. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Now that we
honey and
finally
lemon.
introduced the guest after an hour, so let's just take a break. Be back in a bit. And we're back. We cut from Oshun, Ashal, and their new bestest friend in the world, Prince Bogbadan Albast V, leaving Narashiro to the factory they're heading to, the Needsters factory that's nestled in the middle of the fungal forest south of Narashiro. This is where you left Tumulus and Drea. Tumulus, your undead barbarian, and Drea, your death-obsessed samurai. Just in case anything happened, right? You know, you're trying to stop, like, weird stuff summoning. It makes sense to leave some people there. You are kind of waiting outside the factory where Ashal said this thing was. You two have no idea, really. But Drea is just kind of obedient servant right now, leaning on her scythe.
Would Ashal have told us the sitch on the scuttle over?
Yeah, Ashal will probably tell you a little bit more, but not much more than what we know. But you guys aren't here yet, you know. This is just
Cracks me up.
suffering. You guys aren't there yet. You guys have a little while to get to the factory. Right now, it's just Tumulus and Drea. Tumulus, would you like to do anything during this wait? Because Drea definitely does not. Drea is a samurai who is already distant, so she's just kind of like stares at the space where the thing might be. Just in case.
I think Tumulus would take his time. At the beginning of their watch here, he would have like started glancing over at Drea periodically, and then he would have slowly taken a step, and then leave it like another 30 minutes, and then he sort of takes another step until he's within a couple meters.
Yeah.
And then he'd clear his throat, but it's a very peculiar noise from a deadless clearing the throat because there's nothing to clear. So it's kind of like a whoosh there. So it's much more like a
Yeah.
than it's supposed to be. So it's like a peculiar noise as he sidles up next to her.
It's enough to get Drea's attention, but Drea doesn't, like, properly look at you. She just kind of, like, turns her head enough to indicate that she is listening.
Have you ever seen others of my kind?
Now that gets her attention. Drea's hands will, like, they're not gauntleted, they have this kind of, like, thick leather. Now run over the blade of the scythe, and then she will kind of sheath it and turn to you fully. And rest her hands kind of awkwardly. It's like if she's not holding a weapon, she doesn't know what to do with her hands. But she'll kind of like, her hands are just like to her side, I guess. Like a character without animation. And she will shake her head. I have encountered many undead within my time, but no undead with a soul that burns so bright.
That is a shame. I had hoped you might help. You say I have a soul. Are you certain of this?
To your dismay, she shakes her head. But she will, seeing that reaction, kind of raise a hand. The House of Mori trains us to understand the soul far beyond any other samurai or any priestess. I believe you have a soul, Tumulus. You do not act deranged like other undead, nor mindless, nor completely overwhelmed with the commands of your creator. I believe you have a soul. It is a theory, although I do not have hard evidence of that. You are a unique form of undead that I have not encountered before in all of my years.
There are others on the surface. Not too many now. We do not last long. Not many of us, anyway.
Do you know what happened to you? Was this deliberate?
I lived. I prayed. And one day, my world, and the world of all those around me, ended. My first memory is crawling through piles of bodies to break through the surface of a burial mound. A tumulus. I traveled to his place of worship, but I found nothing there. I tried to go to my people, but they shunned me, cursed me, and so I slunk away into the dark places where I was not hunted, and I found myself here in the darkness. Yet, as you say, I feel the darkness around me, but not within. I have not lost faith in the One yet.
I know what it is to be exiled. I wish I knew what it was to be dead, like you. To achieve that would be the ultimate form of my school's teachings. She shifts slightly and will say, "We are very alike."
Forgive me if I do not see the similarities.
I see them. And that is enough.
You merely adopted them.
Sorry.
She's a little baby.
Perhaps in time you could determine what has happened. If I do still have a soul, then it has been touched, changed by whatever made me this way. In life, he could not fight. He could not wield a weapon. But now I can. I was raised with a purpose.
Drea listens intensely, you know, getting more and more interested, and it's hard to tell that she's interested because her expression does not change. She's just staring at you. But the difference being, she's staring into your eyes. Usually when she looks at you, Tumulus, she's looking at the way that your undead muscles move and the way the bones shift. She's actually just staring into your eyes very intensely. looking like she could fall asleep at any moment. But that's not different to the usual. It may be possible to change a soul like this. After all, we are in the employ of an Ebamari, a race that take one form, implant it with another soul. It's entirely possible. If I were not exiled from my own order, the House of Mori may be able to grant you answers you seek, Tumulus.
If you are exiled, I have seen the way you look at me. Would I earn you your place back into your people?
She doesn't reply at that, she just looks very wistfully at the distance. Like, just like straight up turns, looks in what you imagine is actually the direction of her samurai shrine, probably. Because she would know it very well. And it would probably be like a 10-minute break. Probably be like a 10-minute break in the conversation. As she just thinks. Unless you want to say anything else.
I think Tamila still has his like human timings. So this is a long time.
Yeah.
So he's like ready to end the conversation. So like he'll wait the 30 seconds or so and then he'll say, I was raised with a purpose, but I will make it my own. And then like he turns like to resume the positions that they had before.
Her head moves slightly in hearing that, but she continues wistfully staring at the distance. It would be very late in the day when the rest of the party returns to the factory. Tumulus, can you give me a perception check? And Ashal. Tumulus because he's been here the whole time. Ashal because he's probably more aware than others of this kind of thing.
Oh, we really have both just been staring at that one spot.
Yeah, well, yeah, both Tumulus and Dre have been staring at the one spot for like 5 hours. 5-6 hours. Some small mushrooms have started growing at the spot that Ashal told you to watch.
Oh.
Like a little mushroom sprout. You guys can get, you can drive the beetle down to the factory. The factory is a weird, ugly thing that kind of juts out of the fungal forest surrounded by the fungal trees. But Bogdan, pretty much as Ashal described, there are two people that he has left here, standing outside of it, looking as if they're on guard. I imagine y'all would get off and start getting to work, unless there's anything else you'd like to discuss.
2 Point Park beetle.
Yeah.
Like, give it a little pet. Make sure it's safe, far enough away from the suspicious places.
Yeah, you put him in the parking spot.
Yeah, make sure you lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ashal would just float down, like, and move towards the place where the nature spirit thing, energy,
thing.
whatever it was.
No, that's a good enough description.
Yeah.
We'll just keep on adding, like, nouns.
Yeah.
We have a new friend.
Drea will very, like, snap out of this haze. You actually get the impression that she may have been in trance during that as well.
She just fell asleep.
Well, here's the thing. When a elf enters trance in Jarviskjir, they return to their memories.
Ah.
And Drea, as a samurai, is actually quite good at this. Outwardly, there would be nearly no change to Drea, because she's just that kind of person. She already looks like she's asleep. So she would have been deep in her own memories of her samurai shrine. She'll snap out of it. Very briefly put a hand on the Odachi on her back, but then bow appropriately to her mistress Oshun and the growing gaggle of people. All right, Ashal, I imagine, just sort of drifts past her to get started.
Yeah.
Would I perceive this?
You can give me an insight check. While she's doing that, Bogdan, what would you like to do? That's good. It just took a while for me to work on my.
I guess he just kind of acknowledges the two people that they've met, and he says, "It's good to see I am accompanied by additional warriors." He like locks his gaze to make sure he doesn't accidentally glance over at the giant pregnant lady and the floating weird guy.
Sometimes the belly just moves towards your face.
It gets in frame sometimes.
Well, depending on how tall she is, it just goes right over. Like a gust of wind.
You do a brief like limbo.
Tumulus would turn and eye you, and I'll give a really brief description because you can see the token. And Tumulus is clearly a dead thing that is bandaged and stitched with the aim of... The stitching is weird. It doesn't look like he was stitched when he was alive. It looks like the stitching is there for, like, not the purpose of sealing wounds, but, like, keeping him together probably is the most likely. But he has lovely, if a little bit sunken, eyes. He clearly is a living creature in that aspect.
That's why Drea was looking him in the eyes, right? Those are still like a living person's eyes.
And he would turn to regard you and another joins. Another stray this time.
I am no stray. I know where I belong. I am Prince Bogdan Alabast V, rightful heir of the Blackjaw. At the moment deposed. But I hope, after our journeys together, I shall correct the error.
Oh,
Hey,
goodness,
Prince.
darling. Who sits upon your throne?
An obstacle.
Oh, no living being is an obstacle, my love.
On that we disagree, madam.
You would also hear a sort of raspy laugh from Ashal in the background.
Little tentacles wiggling behind the hood. You see him from behind. Yeah.
I understand.
Tumulus.
Please.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Tumulus will give a really creaky bow. You get the impression this is like a muscle memory for him. Like he goes into a sort of bow and then it becomes... I don't know whether you've ever been to the surface, but it's a specific style of bow from a specific area of Human Kingdoms. And then he'll be like, "Princes look different where I am from."
Drea will also turn to this conversation that is now happening, but doesn't say anything. By the way, with your insight roll, Ocean, you could tell that she was deep within her own memories in a meditative state when you returned, which is kind of unlike her because you told her to keep watch and she basically fell asleep.
I think to the side, Oshun would lay her big hand on Drea's shoulder, not touching the hair, because we don't touch black people's hair, and just say, "Is everything all right, darling?"
Your companion Tumulus has brought interesting topics of discussion.
You
Quite-
seemed a million miles away.
Not quite a million.
Well, for what I've heard, the next few hours will need you here. But you'll tell me about it, won't you?
She looks up at you, which is quite funny because she's also quite short. Because most usurper elves are short. The fact that you're 8 foot tall is holy. She's probably like 5'2" or something.
I
Right?
just imagined her climbing Oshun to like reach the level.
Or in like a baby harness, like on your chest, like with a little scythe, like. Eh. But
No, we
Drea.
can't infantilize her. She's too hot.
Not gonna unpack that. Drea looks up at you, and you're like going, oh, let's discuss our feelings and discuss these sort of things. And she is a samurai. It's like the opposite of what she wants to do, but she will nod.
Those barriers. I'll break down those barriers.
She will nod and will say, "Whatever you wish for, my lady. If I am to serve protecting the wizard, then I shall do this. Or if we are to discuss my emotional state, then we shall do that."
Whatever's best for you. Right. Shall we? I heard I have a bear to meet.
I'm not sure if I have been adequately brought up to speed. Why are we staring at the ground?
Oshun's gonna look at the ground.
As Shao, meanwhile, is floating around, like, continuing to jot things down in this rough notebook and sort of, like, with holding the gem out, and occasionally there's sort of a momentary flash or a momentary sort of pulse of psionic energy as they perform necessary experiments and start with procedures and such like. Occasionally draws a little thing on the ground here and there. Although as Charles' magic is definitely not of a typical wizard kind, this is just for a bit of help. This is a big thing that they're attempting.
Tumulus will look at the prince when he asks the question, because he doesn't understand why everyone's being rude to the prince. And he like points in a good-natured way. Actually, it hurts Tumulus to talk because he doesn't produce saliva anymore, being dead. So he points and he like smiles and then says, "Mushrooms."
Would you like some soup?
Being that in the point that we're all staring at, there are some mushrooms.
There are some
right now.
mushrooms, yeah.
Bogdan would just acknowledge the mushrooms with his gaze, and then look over at the Ebamari to kind of gauge. He seems, or they seem to know what's going on right now, and so Bogdan will pay attention there. Wait for the cue to, do something.
Hit something.
Yeah.
Please, where I feel more confident.
Drea will see that you're like expecting as a fellow warrior and will say, "This will take some time."
If you wish to meet our current benefactor, they are inside and up in a room up there.
You could see the room from out here, yeah. It is the only room that is not lit. Like, there's no light coming out of the windows. But there are windows.
I don't know how the rest of you feel, but in myself, I feel that the primary opinion I would like to make myself familiar with is that of the denizens of the forest, honestly. I mean, I'm all one for industry, but this thing does seem like quite the cancer.
If I am successful in coalescing this spirit collection of... It is difficult to put into words. It will go a long way to establishing good relations with those of the forest. I hope.
How long will that take, do you think?
It is more likely to be a matter of days than minutes. It will certainly be multiple hours. This is not something I am familiar with, nor something I have come across before. I am having to feel the process out very gradually for it to be safe.
In that case, anyone coming to meet the bear with me?
Tumulus gives you a look you've not seen outside of like his rage state. There's like a flash of hatred,
right, yeah.
And then he shakes his head.
Well,
Our patron is a bear.
More than it seems.
well, a picture does tell 1,000 words, Tumulus. I guess I shall go in alone.
I shall accompany you.
Oh, fantastic. Let's go.
I just remembered the payment for this was 1,000 gold, wasn't it?
And you have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. I did. Yeah, I suddenly remembered that.
He paid up front.
Yeah.
That's the sort of guy he is. That's questionable.
Accidentally loaded. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was like,
you paid with your personal coin purse, and you realise you have another one that's just filled with 1,000 gold.
That's literally what it was. Because I completely forgot that I'd been paid up front. I was like, how am I going to afford this gem?
All this time you've been wondering why your feet have been dragging on the ground.
Yeah.
This giant
One
anchor.
side's heavier than the other when you're floating along.
Like, why is the world at such a funny angle today?
You two can enter the factory, and you go when you make it clear to the attendant what's happening. You go up a spiral staircase, and you are invited inside, in a completely pitch black room. It is an office. It has a desk. It has nice wood and everything, but your dark vision is necessary to see anything, right? And even then, the darkness is kind of more present. There's areas you still can't see despite your dark vision. And many of them are around this individual, the Needster. Around 3 or 4 foot tall, wearing a very, very tall hat and a veil that goes from the brim of the hat around the rest of him. He does have animalistic-like features, although not... A bear wouldn't be exactly right. Kind of like there's elements of like a bear, elements of like a cat or a dog, and maybe a goat. It's not specific. It's not specific. It's a little Satan-y. It's not and that's why he's a capitalist. But it's not specifically one creature, right? It's a little bit of everything. There are like horns, but they kind of help prop the hat up because the hat's very big. And the only thing about him that has any kind of color that isn't just shadow is his eyes, which kind of slightly glow blue. And there's no features to them. They're just like circles, like pure circles, blue. And
It's like that artwork from Full Metal Alchemist. It always freaked me out when they were like,
yeah.
perfect circle eyes.
And he will lean up on his desk and be like, "Oh, excellent then. There's more of you. I suppose you're off to help the wizard. But your friend is a wizard, right? Spellcaster, mage, arcanist."
I mean, this is I'm
This
not
is
there.
you two, yeah. Bogdan looks at Ocean.
You're like, what is a shawl? Yes.
Well, I'm very pleased to meet you. I'm glad that there's even more members of this little security force helping me get rid of this pest problem. And he'll kind of like hop around the desk.
And extend the hand as like the lady would.
He'll get as close. He'll take your hand while being as far away as possible. Right? Like he extends his paws out as far as he can, and he won't like kiss the hand or anything. Just give it a little shake.
At that moment, Oshun's going to lean 8 foot of herself down and properly look into this creature.
Despite,
Oh no, she's getting on eye level.
despite how
I didn't do it with you because it's rude to do that to short people, but fuck this guy.
despite how far away he was being,
Oshun loves everything. Oshun loves everything. Back into the state of mind.
he doesn't flinch away at that, and you kind of see him like a smile on his snout. I imagine, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And he'll put his hands on his hips, his paws on his hips. Well, you got an intense look for someone with no eyes.
Am I able to glean anything from him? Whether it's the state of being, what he is, anything he's connected to with the priestess.
Okay, so you're looking for that kind of thing? Religion?
Ocean literally just
Anything.
leans
Religion.
in and goes,
What are you?
Oh, Shun, you can't just ask people what they are.
We established this with Sukaya.
Yeah,
Oshun is mum. She knows things.
it could be either a religion, arcana, or history roll, really. You'd get different things with each roll.
History.
Well, I mean, check what your
Check which ones are good.
Because I was like, what do I want to know? But what my highest stat is.
If you get a really good roll, you'll pretty much work everything out anyway.
I have.
if you get a really good roll.
You die.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
We're playing D&D by Mad Lib.
The system
The
works.
secret can never be revealed, obviously. The need still will keep the secret.
To be fair, no one has asked the Needster what he is. Everyone's just been like,
to ask. I know.
you know? You've worked it out? You've worked out the puzzle?
No, I've not worked it out, but my spidey sense tinkled, and that's enough.
You know he's a capitalist.
He needs bunking.
What would you like to roll, Ocean?
What was the third one? Insight, religion.
You could do Insight, Religion, History, or Arcana. So Insight's a whole other one. Insight won't tell you much about what he is, unless you get really unless there is something that would affect his personality.
I don't have great stats.
Initially, I thought he was a darkling, and then he's all furry and stuff.
Just gonna go for it. Just gonna go for it, please. Oh,
15 is
Religion.
want my 20s.
It takes you a bit of time
Only
to sense out this guy. Not a mortal, as you would know them. As in not an elf or a dwarf or a gnome or anything that lives in the regular world doing regular things, eating, shitting, and fucking. No, this is something different. Not a demon. Demons are kind of more common around Narashiro for totally legitimate reasons. But nothing like that. They're Fae. They're actually a very strange type of Fae that are refugees in the Underrealm. Known as Darklings. You, as Oshun, probably before you ascended, may have been one of the few people who were actually, when they heard that there was these people who were refugees from another realm, that you would have kind of tried to outstand hand, and the rest of the priestesses would have been like, no. You don't know the specifics. Refugees from another realm is really all you know about Darklings. Well, they are Fae, which explains some things. Although Fae are not usually, from your understanding, and Fae are less common in the Underrealm than they are on the surface as well, but also, as a usurper elf, you have access to a lot of study. Fae are not usually materialists. If they're materialists in like a woo party kind of way, not a woo money kind of way. Right? Fae typically enjoy good booze and like song and stuff, not coin filling their pockets. So it is a little weird. You don't know if it's a Darkling thing, but he is a Darkling of some kind, because Fae can take many types of forms. A Fae's culture is completely indifferent to like their physical form. There are Darklings that are elves, there are Darklings that are gnomes, there are Darklings that are satyrs of particular kinds, right? So he's a Darkling, which would explain why everything is incredibly dark, because you don't know the specifics, Ocean, but from trying to be accommodating to them, the Darklings are either afraid of light or harmed by it.
You mentioned that he's a refugee. Could I make a history check to know more about why?
Absolutely.
Or if I recognize him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do we do? Okay, I just clicked that. Cool.
Yeah. Just a button. That's a really good roll. Yeah, you kind of have the same realization a little bit later when you kind of pick the things together. For you, it probably would be more that the room is blacked out. Because there aren't many Darklings in the Underrealm. The ones that are, they don't really have a central home anymore, because what happened is that their home, like a town they lived in, got pulled from the Fey realm to this one, underground, in an area called the Roots. It basically just appeared, kind of lopsided, in the middle of this whole area, causing all kinds of chaos, but it's a very barely inhabited area. It's quite close to Abernir, where the Deep Dwarves come from, so it would have been something that you know about. Some Darklings still hang out around there, but many take the employ of assassins and spies and other duties. That's kind of what they did beforehand as well. There are some rumors that people were in contact with the Darklings before they came here. Although the specifics are unsure, and also that some Darklings are scientists, like straight up scientists who research not only just magic but also material things. So maybe that explains this factory, right? Being kind of some degree of science in some kind.
Well, Bogdan's going to let Oshun take point because it was her idea.
Yeah. Is there another chair around?
There would be, yeah. There would be other chairs by the desk.
Let me correct that.
There would be. This is the kind of office that has like a couch and a coffee table
and
in a corner.
Plant, like a fake plant that could survive in the dark. Office plant.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, it literally by the desk is a plant made of wood. Like it has been carved and painted. Yeah.
That's some next level faux plant.
I was gonna say that's some sort of level of art, isn't it? To carve a plant.
And it would be like a sunflower too. It wouldn't be something you recognize.
I literally saw an artist in the Tate once, which I thought was just trash everywhere. When you look closer, was crumpled crisp packets carved and painted from wood. It was insane. I was like, this bullshit modern art! Oh.
Every time I've been to the Tate Modern, I have the same thought. Where it's like, modern art is kind of a scam. Okay. Yes. Okay! I'll allow it.
I'll allow this bed pasted to the wall.
Ocean, what would you like to do?
Contemplate modern art. And just pull up this sofa. She'll just stand back up straight, pull up this sofa, sit, and say, I've noticed you're in a bit of a peculiar situation.
Me? Peculiar? I've never heard anyone say anything like that. Make yourself at home, by the way. Feel free to rearrange the place however you wish.
Thank you. You must understand that I'm trying to think of the right question.
Oh, no, getting older every moment, but feel free to ask the question whenever it comes to your mind.
I feel that what are you doing here is too narrow, but I desperately want to know what it is that you want, truly.
Give me a persuasion check.
Prepare for my +7!
We have to fix that. It shouldn't be +7.
I think Bogdan is really interested to see what's about to happen. So he's gonna like lean against the doorpost, and his poleaxe will rest against his shoulder, and he'll cross his arms like, okay.
I can't.
Bogdan, can you give me a perception check?
My +7.
It's because you were originally a rogue and we set up a character
Yeah,
sheet
give me a
to be
perception check
rogue
while we're
and
sorting
then
this out.
change. There we go. That's fine now.
This is very calm. This music is like early RTS while you're setting up your economy music. This isn't what I was looking for at all.
Yeah, I'm tasking some wood choppers right now.
Yeah. Chopper. One sec.
Did you just say live on twitch.tv that you are getting wood?
Okay, Bogdan, you notice, you actually feel something shift under your foot, as if the weight distribution of the floor has changed where you are. Just enough to maybe make you unsure of your footing. Ocean, with a 23, you see the needs to think for a bit, and he does the kind of, Well, you see, not many people ask that sort of question. You know, they ask, who is the needster, but not how is the needster? Well, I think it's quite simple.
And we swap chairs. He lies on the couch like...
Oh, it all started when I was spawned. Well, I think it's simple, my good, enormous lady. I want to make things. I want to make good things. Good things for the people. All of the stuff we make here, we send it to Narashiro, and it fills people's lives with joy. And I just want to make more and more. I mean, I started off just carving some things myself, and then brought on some more people, and some more people, and some more people, and some more people, and it keeps growing and growing, bigger and bigger, and it's just, it's an amazing sensation every time we add a new wing to the factory.
What are you producing, Darkling?
Well, first of all, I'm the needster, okay?
My apologies. The Needster.
Yes. Well, pretty much everything that people in the city require. There's a lot of general goods that have been unsatisfied for a long time. You go to any boutique in Narashiro, and you'll see, oh, a finely carved chair that was carved 500 years ago. No. Starting off with furniture. Doing all the furniture. Cutlery. All those sorts of general, regular goods that the people need. Clothing. All the regular things. We're not dabbling in magic, so you don't need to worry about anything like that. But, pretty much anything that we can carve from the wood that we do. We also make use of the fungal threads that fall from the trees and carve and weave them, loom them into all sorts of cloths and materials. We make the most out of everything we can. A lot of ingenuity is going into this.
You seem to have prolific enterprise.
I am quite brilliant.
Well, from where I'm sitting, can you understand that you aren't personally creating anything? Is that all right? Don't you want to use your hands? Put your hands on the materials that you want to express your vision through. That's what please correct me if I'm mistaken, but that's what I feel your true essence is striving for, is it not?
Oh, you know my true essence, do you? You've met me for 2 minutes. And you know exactly who I am. You know, I see what you got going on here. You remind me a lot of some ladies back home. But I think if you asked any artisan if they could lean back and watch someone else do what they need to do with their knowledge in the new person's hand, they would take that opportunity. I started off carving by myself. Started off making things back at home. Now, I am making thousands of things per day, and they're sending joy to people, right? And I think that's a brilliant thing, and I think that's an excellent thing. Whether or not I'm making it by myself, I mean, I'm here signing paperwork and organizing things. I'm still hand on, paws on, aye? I don't necessarily appreciate your tone if you're trying to suggest that I'm a glutton or a slob or something. What, do I have crumbs in my fur?
I apologize, darling. I did not mean to imply anything. You're right. Well, it's been fabulous meeting you. And she's going to just rise.
Aye. Fabulous is exactly the term I would use to describe this discussion as well.
I'm slipping into my other character. I'm desperate to go, ah!
Ocean can laugh. She wants.
She cannot Ojo Sama though. I've got to draw a distinct barrier. And she'll just radiate goodwill and sweep from the room. Until next time, I will join my companions. Thee needs to know.
Bogdan?
Bogdan will linger for a moment, and then just kind of give the Darkling a nod and said, "Until we meet again, the needs to."
Right, finally some respect around these parts. You're like toy with like the collar of his jacket, and you can head back downstairs.
Yeah.
Oshun's going to approach her group again and say, "Now, I'm loath to speculate when one does not have the complete picture, as inevitably mistakes will be drawn. But I feel as though I was painted very vividly a picture. Unless I'm mistaken, my gut theory... Does anyone else get the impression that this creature is acting under some kind of compulsion? Not quite their own, but has quite twisted the heart of who this being once was?"
I've only just met him, but I haven't met many Darklings.
As Charles is
Charles shrugs.
As Charles is continuing to write, does pause for a moment and shrug and say, "An odd creature, certainly. I did not give him a great deal of thought beyond that. He is likely to cause problems, one way or another, but he is secondary to our current path."
I am not sure what a Darkling is.
I don't even know what a Darkling is.
Yep, get ready.
I'm curious how this relates to the Spiderlings.
He has given us, or he will give us, a way to contact the peoples that live and dwell in this forest.
Drea will will interrupt with mushroom elves.
Yes, mushroom elves.
Melves.
They have the best chance of providing us further information on the Spiderkin.
Did the needs to say who his patron was?
Patron? No. He said he had an agreement with the mushroom elves to cut the forest, but no patron was mentioned.
I swear that there was a boss, wasn't there?
He seemed. He seems the sort to be his own master of his own fate. Whether or not he is addled in some way is another discussion.
Badly remembering the last game that I was not
He
here.
had a attendant. Still does. I just didn't roleplay him this time. I just waved through the paperwork.
Well, all signs point to the Melves. Mum jokes.
I have met plenty of individuals that think of highly of themselves as he did, with no outside compulsion.
Self-aggrandizing notwithstanding, he does run a profitable enterprise.
Profitable, yes, but a cancer and a scourge? Also true.
There is a slight raspy laugh again from Ashal. This one, though, it seems is probably in agreement.
Okay, you'll, Ashal, you can start really working on a ritual now, right? Really start weaving away, organizing things. It's gonna take, you know, the rest of the night of you arranging this circle of, I imagine, chalk or charcoal around it.
It would probably be charcoal, because I imagine it would be either A, cheaper, or B, easier to get hold of.
Yeah. Someone in the party would have charcoal for you to use if you didn't.
Yeah,
Be like,
and
I
Ashal would know.
need to write on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, I'd forgot my pencil box.
Doesn't he just like write on his arm?
He's got a journal. Dude, Ashal has a journal, remember? The ratty journal that they're always writing.
Yeah,
No.
and if you're writing it in charcoal, it means it's like smudged as well, which is way worse. That was like my entire uni career, drawing in charcoal.
Really want Ashal to have random graphite smudges like on their tentacles, on their hands.
I mean, they don't. Yeah, they're not. Yeah. It's a ratty old sort of cloak and stuff. Like, you're not sure apart from when the last time Ashal got into like running water was.
Oh, shoes gonna be like, darling. Just wipe her hand every time.
The ritual can start. Ashal, you can start to focus the natural psionic magic of your people, combined with a good deal of your intelligence, your own ingenuity, and your own imagination. The symbols that you've carved on the ground are going to start glowing an electric, acidic purple. And magic is going to start to hum. The process of turning something ethereal into something physical can begin. Quite powerful magic, especially on something so abstract, and all of you can feel that in the air. You can feel that in your hair. Wanted to go for another rhyme there, but I couldn't quite get it. Ocean's hair just rises like a cloud around her.
As Sharp's floating starts to get a bit more intense, like the robe is floating a bit and the tentacles are like splayed out a little bit.
And Oshu's just gonna be like in the background, such fun!
Drea is going to walk around the circle very slowly to stand in front of Ocean. And
Hello,
as the feel of magic fills the air more and more. I think this is a great time for us to take a little break.
Ah!
Yep, that's the reaction I wanted. You give me power. 1 sec. We'll be back in a bit. And we're back. You know what's happening. You weren't born yesterday. As the magic circle glows, and the incantations grow, something starts to, like, flash into the material realm in front of your eyes in the center of the circle, where those little mushrooms grew. There's even more of them now. The thing kind of starts as just an abstract shape and it grows sort of outward, like mushrooms growing and sporing. And it starts as this large orb and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. In the middle, this eye opens and mushrooms emanate all around it, sending off eminence of gas. I'm gonna need you all to roll initiative and then give me a Constitution save.
Oops, just summoned an eldritch mushroom monster. Don't mind me.
I can't spell trichophobia.
Oh, that's
Yes, positive number.
Oh, Constitution save as well.
Constitution save as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's strange. I think I screwed that up.
It's saving throw, which will be
Oh, I didn't roll a
yeah,
saving
the
throw.
yeah, go ahead and re-roll the saves. It's
Oh, you're
up to the
you're an
side.
officer and a gentleman.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's a
it's,
little bit
it's
better.
different as well, and the it knows if you're you know, a fighter doing a save or not, and it will give you a better roll.
Right.
That's just the way it works. Okay, I need.
Oh man, you got the whole title on the token.
Why is my... Oh, there it is. It just hadn't loaded. Okay. Of course I got the whole title on the token. Oh, it's glitching out. It's glitching out. Okay, there we go. 1 second. I had the stats up for this monster, and then I closed them. I'm very smart. Drea also needs to roll initiative, and I'll get there in a moment. So plan out what you want to do, especially you spellcasters. But bear in mind, when this creature emanates into the material plane and lets out a noise that's kind of a shriek, but it has no mouth. Just kind of, you know, the noise kind of emanates from it. This gas spreads, filling the area. Hell yeah, Drea. Get that good roll. The gas immediately makes some of you feel a little bit slumbersome. And actually, Oshun, you have advantage on this save.
Yeah.
If you would like to re-roll it. And so does Drea. Because you are
Yay.
elves.
No.
Well, I mean, you did better.
Better, but not good
It's an
enough.
improvement.
Because sleeping gas is going to emanate from the creature and send a couple of you into a delicate slumber. Oshun is going to be one. And Bogdan would have failed, but doesn't anymore. As Charles, you got it on the number. So the only one who falls asleep is Oshun.
I thought I was like, that's even if that passes, it is going to be literally the required number.
As the sleeping gas kind of emanates, Andrea will actually start moving and ready her scythe. And that's when the eye of the creature starts darting around. And the eye, as it looks upon all of you, it starts to sap the muscle energy. And it starts to slow you down. All of you have your eyes open, aside from Oshun, actually, who's currently asleep. So please make me... you know what, we'll do it at the start of people's turns, just for ease. Drea will start off and have to make a wisdom save.
Uh-oh. Wisdom save.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Nope, and she like goes to start charging and just starts slowly moving as she is slowed, can no longer take reactions, can only use an action or a bonus action, not both, and her speed is halved, but her halved speed is enough for her to get into range and swing at the thing. I'm just fighting myself right now. We've all been there, DMs. Shung. And that's going to be a hit. That's going to be a hit. It's going to deal 11 damage. She's going to very cleanly slice the thing up the middle. It splits in two. It splits in two.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no! Why?
Because why not have a beholder equivalent who can split in two? Ocean! You're sleepy.
I would like to wake up, please.
There's no checks for sleep. It's you are either woken up by someone, or you're woken up by damage, or you restfully slumber for a few moments.
Asleep.
You're a little sleepy. Ashal.
Wisdom save.
Yes, please.
As someone who's lived with a pregnant woman, I just assume it wasn't even the spell's effect. It should just be
Yeah,
a nap, you know?
yeah. That's why the last session is like, oh, Ocean isn't here. She just needs to rest. She's pregnant. Like, come on. That's all we need to say.
Had a hot bath, sat by the fire and read, and was like, oh, how lovely. Quite droll.
That's going to be a success, Ashal. You can continue acting without being slowed.
I presume it would be an action to wake Oshun.
It depends how you do it, but yes, usually.
Kindly, Ashal is not going to be an
You'd have to get up and, like, stir her.
Yeah.
Like a super...
So,
yeah.
Enhance ability doesn't count for saving throws, which is annoying.
Really?
Its ability checks.
That's kind of bullshit.
So, yeah. I mean, it's very handy, but also sometimes kind of bullshit.
Wait. Am I completely wrong? Elves resist something.
We
Oh, yeah,
did
actually.
that.
Yeah, but it's specifically elves can't be put magically to sleep. It's not magical, probably. It's spores.
Ah,
Yeah.
darn.
That's not
No,
necessarily
magical
true in
purpose.
Jarviskjir because the elves do sleep. They just sleep differently, right? And they can be compelled to sleep. They're just more resistant to it.
Okay.
Ashal will float up to Oshun and attempt to rouse her.
Yep, it's fine. It's just an action. You just can shake her awake.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything as a bonus action?
Ah.
Sorry?
Do you want to do anything as a bonus action?
I don't think I have anything as a bonus action, so no.
Tumulus. There are now 2 of these mushroom spore things floating in the air, staring around. Please give me a wisdom save unless you would like to avert your eyes.
Oh, let's make a wisdom save.
Yeah. That's going to be a failure. You're going to be slowed, speed halved, can only make an action and not a bonus action. Or action or bonus action, not both.
16's a fail.
In a
I
16, what?
1, 2, 3. Though that's kind of being kind to me. Seeing as my speed is 25 halved.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Whatever.
I don't think I have reach, which is
No,
okay.
your Great Flail doesn't have reach, it just has bonks.
So, I will take an action to dash
Mm-hmm.
and end up there.
Okay. These things are gonna act. the mushrooms all around them are multiple different colors, and they seem to grow and retract and grow and retract. And let's see what they do, shall we? Oh, excellent. The first one is going to target Drea. She's going to need to make me a strength save. I'm Drea, so I'm going to make the strength save. And she just barely makes it, as just a blast of spores is launched towards her, and it kind of like pushes her back, almost in the same way that like a Shal floats. She's kind of like caught in the air for a moment, but like actually will drag the scythe to the ground and like pull herself back before she's pulled too far away. Tumulus, you're going to be targeted by something else. It's going to be spores.
Disintegration, right?
Spores that kind of exude. The mushrooms exude spores, and they start to turn to fire in the air. Please give me a dexterity save, Mr. Tumulus.
Is this an effect that I can see, such as a trap and spell?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's a dexterity effect.
I'm glad I dodged a 1.
I'm actually surprised with Tommy.
So you would half that. It would have been 26 fire damage. You're going to half that to 13 fire damage as you manage to kind of deft and dodge out of the way.
A doll, like the thing that's all floppy that cartwheels through the air.
13, yeah?
Yes. Bogdan. As this is happening in front of you, one-eyed mushroom spore creatures. Would you like to close your eyes, or would you like to make me a wisdom save?
I'd like to do the latter.
Okay.
Now the question is, will I do it right?
You did it, but you failed.
Okay.
All the
Really right.
the energy is sapped from your body by the stare of the thing, and it kind of like weaving, and the eye almost like forms and reforms in other places. Now there's 2 of them as well.
Okay.
Things are getting out of hand.
Bogdan will lift his poleaxe over his head and shout, "The wall!" as he grows in size, because I'm casting enlarge.
Hey!
Now you can see eye to eye. Can I just say, that icon though, that token though, that is some prime capital A art.
Thank you. I'm very talented.
Alright, needs
Help! Ollie's channeling the need stuff.
You can
Honestly-
move if you wish.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's more impressive that you matched shirt to headset. But,
That's true, yeah.
yeah. I'm going to step here. Yeah. When enlarge is my action.
Yeah, and the slow takes away your bonus action, so...
So I think I'm just going to step there.
Okay.
Because my weapon has reach, so next turn I can go ham.
Drea's gonna try and go ham. I'm not getting action. Give me some good action music playlist. Hey! Drea has advantage, right, Tumulus? You're giving advantage?
I would be.
Yeah, okay. Shockwing. That's gonna be a miss. It's gonna be one of those things where it gets so close, but it's so like wiggly and strange, and yeah, it's material, but it also kind of moves through the air like thick fluid, right? It's very strange. And she is just gonna swear in Elvish at the miss.
This monster makes me uncomfortable.
She can make a continued attempt against the slowing effect on her.
Like relatively high AC and like very high DC on slow.
Beats the 17 on the...
Yeah.
Ocean, you are awake.
The fan just started on my laptop underneath my hand. So weird.
It knows what's up.
It's probably a bit unnerving.
To
Do a bane.
Okay, charisma saving throw. And they're 2 creatures right now. Okay. Charisma saving throw, what's your DC?
My DC is wrong button. 11.
One's gonna pass, one's gonna fail. I will
Can
mark
we
the one that
tell
failed.
which one passes and which one fails?
Yeah, well, I imagine there's a physical eminence to this, right, Ocean?
Very ocean-y. Whatever you imagine that to be.
I imagine it like waves and a beach.
I would. Well, funny you say that. I was kind of imagining like ribbons of kind of lightish around it.
Oh no,
like,
not
kind
ribbons
marking
of light. That reminds me of the old daimyo.
it. Exactly.
Well, Ocean, the real African goddess, is goddess of
Of the sea.
fertility and water.
Yeah. Can you please give me a wisdom save as well, Ocean? Meant to at the start of your turn, but I'm bad at DMing. You're slowed, so you can move now, but you can't do anything else.
Morning,
Would you like to
Ocean.
move?
Would you like to move?
I'm good.
Okay.
So many
great.
big boys.
Ashal, what would you like to do?
Is this a save at the start of each of my turns?
You
or now
are
I-
slowed now. It's at the end of your turn. You can try and repeat it. No, you're
Oh,
not
well,
slowed.
I
Yeah, you're
wasn't
fine.
slowed. Okay, so it's a resist
It's
it
a-
once you.
Resist it once and you got it. Bang.
That makes it a bit more a bit nicer. I am going to target the one that Ocean just successfully baned, and I am going to mental spirit because.
So it has a
she's taken away one of the
D4
steps
against
in my-
its save, right?
Yeah, taken away one of the steps that I normally need to do. to
Yeah,
get this to-
it's going to fail.
It's insecurities.
It's going to fail by 6. So
Yes.
it's going to be stunned. Assuming that it can be stunned, it can.
Yes. And Ashal will just float a bit further back, just in case this thing decides to go for the group. I'm gonna float a bit further back than that.
What was that thing that Tamius just said? You are a coward.
Absolutely.
Also, the sorcerer. The sorcerer in melee? What are we talking about? Tumulus.
This thing just attacked Drea, right?
Yeah, this one attacked Drea, the other one attacked you.
Between the burning sensation and the attack on perhaps the one link he has so far,
See a doctor if you feel a burning sensation.
he does. Tumulus is going to raise his sensor, and his eyes will flash and glint and change into that reddish hue as he will rage. But he's still slowed, so that's a bonus action, so he's not actually going to do anything.
Yeah,
else.
that's it. That's your turn. You can give me a wisdom save at the end of your turn to see if you can resist the effect of the slowing magic on you.
No. Come on,
No.
I rolled a 16 before!
That's
That's the DM laugh. Oh, don't do that. I thought you'd frozen.
No, it was just me. And it's funny enough, Ocean, can you give me another Constitution save? There is going to be a sort of swelling of the fungal growths on this creature, and then a poof of mushrooms that will shower down on you, Ocean. It's tingly. It's maybe even a little pleasant. But that's all. And the other one is stunned right now. The other one, while they're moving erratically, the other one is just drifting slowly towards the ground. Its eye,
Oh, no,
like
a
twitching.
jellyfish out of a current.
Like a jellyfish out of a current! Bogdan, you would have advantage on attacking it because it is stunned.
Then I will attack it with advantage.
There's an advantage toggle at the top of your sheet.
Yeah, yep. It's
Just
not my
checking,
first
just checking.
rodeo.
Whoa, those
That's a
are
hit.
bright ones.
Okay. Now, how does
You
one...
click the bold text in the chat box of Polax.
I approve.
All right, and I also, because I am enlarged, I deal an additional 2 damage.
Nice.
That's amazing. You can, as a giant dwarf right now, kind of like swing at the thing in an incredibly devastating way, and while it's still stunned, doing so is enough to make it split in 2 again.
Oh, good. I was just
Oh,
thinking
good.
that's what we needed. Does it carry with it? It's yes. It
Yeah,
does.
both are stunned.
Okay, that's all right.
And I will tell you, it had an odd number as its HP, so you got a little bonus HP damage in that because you can't half a half odd. What? Drea, my dear, what would you like to do? I'm Drea.
Oh, at the end of my turn, do I wisdom save?
Yes.
Oh, I still had advantage checked.
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead
no.
and re-roll that without
Yeah.
advantage.
Okay.
I put that bad boy on query because otherwise I do that all the time.
That's actually
Ooh,
enough to
exactly
succeed.
the same.
You are removed
Yes.
from the
Oh,
slowing
it was
is
a
removed
DC
from you.
16. Nice.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Shockwing. Drea is gonna miss again. Drea is having real trouble with the slowness. Being a usurper elf samurai, someone that uses speed and grace, being slowed is like a lag in a game. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you can't manage the lag, then you're suddenly a
300
scrub.
milliseconds in League of Legends.
Yeah. That's how I learned how
Yeah.
to play League of Legends. I sharpened my teeth with that. But she is going to actually resist the slow. Which
Well,
is
that's
gonna be
good.
great.
So, her ping drops.
Yeah, her ping drops. You know, she smacked the modem.
Turned off Steam.
Yelled at her dad to get off the computer.
Closed Chrome.
Ocean. All the things I had to do to get this stream working.
Oh man, yeah.
Ocean, what are you feeling?
I was gonna do the same thing again, but I was looking at Ray of Enfeeblement, so I'm just gonna do Ray of Enfeeblement.
Bear in mind that if you use Ray of Enfeeblement, it will drop your Bane.
Yeah, both are concentration. You can have one concentration spell up at a time.
In that case, I will keep the Bane. Am I able to cast Bane again?
No.
On...
It's already cast, and I would be nice. It kind of cast, it like spread cast, because the one thing split to 2. So you are keeping that spell up. It's still concentrating. That is the thing of clerics. All your spells are concentration.
Except the best cleric spell.
Spiritual weapon.
Spiritual weapon and inflict wounds.
Fucking dagger.
You're gonna throw a dagger at the thing?
I'm gonna huck a fucking dagger.
Clank, 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 clank. Skids on the stone.
Did Drea see that?
You're like, I've
Yeah.
seen this done. How hard can it be? Shwunk. Oh.
Ashal, witnessing Ocean's horrible, horrible miss.
No!
I would like to drop a maelstrom like around
dear.
there to pull the two
The
little
two little
ones
baby
towards-
ones?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think a strength of a mushroom beholder is? Good? Good? Like a
I
plus
don't say,
5?
Got stunned.
They've also got my
They aren't stunned anymore because it's the start of the show.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, fair.
If they're like jelly, -1.
One's gonna fail, one's gonna succeed.
Is that with the Bane affecting it as well?
Ooh. It is theoretically possible for the Bane to... No. It still succeeds. So this one is gonna... Whoop, down this way. Taking the psionic damage. Like a jellyfish caught in a slipstream.
I love jellyfish.
And I think on this occasion that's going to end my turn.
Does it take half damage of the thunder? No. Okay. Tumulus. Enraged. Mushroom creatures. Ocean mist.
Oh. It's my turn.
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Oh!
I'd like to deliver this person the big bonk, hopefully. Let's try. Let's see.
Give them the business.
I don't think I've delivered them the big one.
Dang it.
Wrong address. They did not have Prime delivery. It's gonna have to wait another day.
Collect from Depot.
That's my turn.
Okay.
Can I make a wisdom save?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
And then after that, can you give me a strength save, buddy?
Yeah, with gladly.
Purple mushroom spores are gonna at you, kind of start lifting you up from the ground.
Glorious.
This is gonna be.
I'm raging, so I have advantage.
But you do have advantage, and no, not a chance. There's no way the telekinetic spores would be able to push you away and make it really funny because you'd have to rush back. There's no way that happens.
That's cruel.
It was cruel, but you know.
Slow and pushing effects on a pure melee. Oh.
Definitely fought this boss in World of Warcraft.
Bogdan, can you give me a dexterity save?
Are you sure you didn't mean to say anything else?
No, it is going to be dexterity as fire spores. As is the case when rolling a beholder, you only get the same 2 eye beams over and over. That is inevitable. That's the rules. That's gonna be
I got an 8, so
yeah.
I assume.
That's a lot of fire damage potentially.
He'll be fine. You'll live.
He says as he rolls again.
Like, oh, that's not enough.
That's 31 fire damage.
Yeah.
Oh, my
The
lord.
fire engulfs you.
I am alive, but not for long.
In the
Don't
widest
worry.
definition of the sense, yes.
There's another beholder. Oh, new beam. Who this? This is actually going to be an Ocean. Can you please give me another Constitution save, Ocean?
Yeah.
Oh no, don't put Ocean to sleep.
While that happens, I'm gonna make my concentration.
That is a successful save, but you're still going to take damage as rotting spores. Oh, do you become baby again?
Well, I become normal size.
Yeah. Is it really not a wow? I didn't realize that was a concentration.
Yeah.
It's because usually when we've done it, someone else has cast Enlarge on someone. Rarely have we had someone cast it on themselves.
Casting Enlarge and then staying out of the fight.
I also don't think it's concentration in Pathfinder. I mean 3.5, but same thing.
Big thoughts.
It's probably not. I know one of my party members uses it.
How much damage was that?
I'm still doing it. It would have been 38 necrotic damage. That's going to be halved to 19 necrotic damage.
They have a
Ocean.
ray of death?
Well, it's not a ray. It's mushroom spores, guys. Come on. It's not a beholder.
spores.
It's a mushroom thing.
Of death.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll turn you to mulch.
Oh, that is unpleasant.
If I drop any concentration,
You have to make.
You have to make a
yeah.
another check. It'll be a Constitution save to see if concentration stays up on Bane.
Aiming for a 10.
Don't whiff it like I did.
Oh! Just stagger. Oshun, massive Oshun, drops to a knee, keeps the concentration up.
Yeah.
I think actually, what kind of beam is that?
It was a
Just spores?
bunch of spores that immediately started to kind of make your skin wither and age, like the, you know when you see a video of like wood rotting in fast forward, like that to you,
Like Indiana Jones.
like Indiana Jones. But you take it, and you keep trucking.
It's just
Speaking of
it's in my head
Bogdan,
now. Bogdan just like Mario.
Oh,
like he took damage.
yeah.
Like, doo, doo, doo.
it's
like
the
flying.
only way. It's got to be canon.
Wait. It was pre-established there's mushrooms on the ground. I got this.
Yeah, nice.
Alright, so for my bonus action, I'm gonna second wind.
Uh huh.
10 plus my level. Please roll well. Oh yeah, not bad.
That's really good.
Alright. that was my bonus, and unfortunately, my one area effect spell is indiscriminate, and we have lots of friendly melee.
You could get like here and do it.
Well, it's more of a control spell than a damage spell, so I don't think I want to. I think it'd be a
I
waste of
forgot you're
turn.
an Eldritch Knight.
You
I have
guys
no
don't really know yet. I mean, sometimes dwarves just grow, right? They get a
It's
little growth
true.
spurt
I
mid
kind of just
combat.
put it down to being a deep dwarf. you know?
Sometimes dwarves are a grower, not a shower.
I think they always are. Put that in the wiki.
I have this really cool spell, but it's definitely an action, and it definitely should be a bonus. But I already used my bonus anyway, so I think I'm just gonna go swish. I'm gonna go oopty and then shloopty and then swish over here.
You would not be in range there. You need to get one more
Yes.
further down.
My
Diagonals
says
do
reach.
not exist in Jarviskjir.
Yeah.
Except
on
for
it.
spells.
Oh, I don't have reach.
You have reach. You just don't have range there. You need to be down here to.
Oh,
get
no
reach.
diagonals.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No
so
diagonals.
it would actually be like the one that looks like you're right next to him is the 5-foot reach on the diagonal, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That
I see,
one would be
okay.
reach as well for.
Okay,
balance.
so you then from here,
Mhm.
I shall strike.
Go ahead.
Actually, that being said,
roll.
I think I'll actually move here. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then if I want, I can just attack the guy up top. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
attack the guy in the bottom first. And we're gonna give him the poleaxe.
That is a miss. Now that it's
Classic
smaller, it's
dwarf.
even harder to get. It's like.
Oh no!
It's just like.
Yeah.
I think I'll go ahead and action surge and go again.
Yeah.
Swing.
That's more like it.
There you go. Bonk,
Hey.
bonk, but with
Ah,
blade.
No, that's enough. That is absolutely
Oh, yeah?
enough to get it down.
Oh.
Absolutely. This thing doesn't
Glorious.
have. This thing
Worst.
doesn't have a death explosion, does it? No. Okay. Good.
It doesn't have a death explosion. Words you don't want to hear your DM say.
Oh, I forgot.
I
this thing
didn't
is
make this
definitely. Forgot this thing's an imp.
Yeah.
Okay, I have now expended all my non-Eldritch Knight resources. It's someone else's turn.
Dre is just continuing to struggle over here. Shring.
Drea, no.
Drea, your dice. Oh, there it went. Just took 5,000 years. Yeah. You know, she's an NPC.
We're not doing so hot over here right now.
She's trying not to hog the spotlight.
It's
Oh, for
moving a lot. It's shooting at people. She's got the dodge. You know, it's a whole thing. Ocean.
If I do prayer of healing,
You
can I
cannot do it.
choose Not to.
Prayer of Healing is a 10-minute cast, yeah, and you... Most healing spells that are AoE anyway, you do choose who you're healing as well, other than...
Can we ask the monster politely if it'll wait?
Excuse me, could you give us 10 minutes?
Well, that's funny, because it was actually Will, who for a long time in Here Be Heroes was casting Prayer of Healing, and at one point we were like, oh, it's a 10-minute cast.
I'm sure I've made that mistake with my life cleric as well, like wanting to cast it and they've been like, oh,
It isn't even unbalanced as an action, is the weird thing. It's just
looks
meant
so
to be...
tantalizing.
Meant to be
Just a
done
very
after
early
combat.
level area effect heal, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to do, Ocean? Bear in mind that you are concentrating, although half of the things you were concentrating on are now dead.
I'm gonna. I still don't understand levels.
Do you want to do a better heal?
Yes.
Then they will do.
Okay.
Is this on yourself?
She's just gonna slap her chest, go for the heel, stand back up,
Anything else you'd like to do after that?
fuck attack.
We won't have actions for that.
I don't think they have any other. Turn undead. No,
Action.
they're all actions.
It's all actions.
It's all actions.
Don't turn undead, don't turn undead.
Timeless just jogs away. That's it.
And then
Ashal!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Remember to
6.
heal yourself on your token.
Going to cast Wind of Respite
I had this
at
in the wrong
second
place this
level.
whole damn time. Good job, me. Oh, okay. Cool. Healing.
So that is. That's level. That should be 10 health healed for everyone and 4 temp HP.
Okay, it's like it got it the wrong way around. Okay, cool.
Well,
Oops.
Okay, I see.
I deleted that HP from Drea. No, let's add it.
And how many temporary?
So
So
10
we
heal,
healed
4 temp.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
10 healed, 4 temp. Yes,
Nice.
I've got that. I still can't get back to sharp how I want it to.
It's homebrew. We understand. Anything else you'd like to do after sending out a wave of healing?
Unfortunately not. I want to get out of the way, but I have no movement, so... Actually, I suppose technically I can... No, it's fine.
Tumulus.
I would actually like to, I know they didn't have Prime delivery, but it's been a day now. Let's see whether we can actually give them that bunk.
What was it? Were we going to sneak the word package into this?
That's a
this
miss.
stream?
Yeah, okay.
Package has not been delivered.
You check it on your phone and it's still in transit.
Oh, God.
That's the worst.
Hasn't left the
Delayed.
depot.
No, the worst is when it's shipped, but you're like, does that mean it's gone? Does that mean it's at the place waiting to be delivered? Like,
Ashol! Give me a dexterity save.
Oh no.
A blast of grey spores.
It was nice knowing you, everyone.
Wow, your deck save.
Oh, dear.
Natural 1 notwithstanding, your deck save is better than mine.
At first, Ashol, you don't feel anything different. But you know that something has happened.
Oh, no, it wasn't the fire one. It was a new one off a baby.
Oh dear.
No, that was the big guy. The baby's now going to attack. The baby is going to attack with, the same thing at Drea.
Oh.
You were like, no, don't push me. No, don't push me.
I only have 25 movement on a good day.
Oh, that's a good point. Can I make that a wisdom save?
Yes. We are
I
very
also
bad at
only have
remembering that.
25.
Drea, it's the same spore. It's basically they both work together. This grey spores. They kind of linger. They can't hang on to your flesh. And Ashol, you don't notice anything. You might even look. You see what's happening to Drea. She takes one step back, and her foot turns to stone. And stone starts to creep up her legs.
Oh, no.
As the two of you are starting to be petrified. Bogdan.
Oh, no.
Bogdan needs to quickly look up a spell. See if I can help. Okay. Charm fight no possess.
Is there a new spell called Delayed Death?
No, I was
brutal.
just memeing.
You
Okay.
breathe in the toxic spores and you're like, 6 seconds later.
I'm gonna take a swipe at the little one. Earlier someone mentioned something about advantage being next to.
Yes, these guys aren't currently conveying advantage because there's no one opposite.
If you move there, if you're
Yes.
hitting the little one, if you move there, you'll get advantage of Tumulus.
Basically, the rule is you need to be able to draw a line through the token, and imagine that the small token. Is, so
Yeah.
if you take a
And since I have reach, I can hit this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't normally come up because we don't.
well, that's
often
the
have-
advantage of reach in the no
Yeah,
diagonal
yeah,
system.
yeah.
It has a
Yeah.
place
Okay. So
in the meta.
I have advantage.
Mhm.
All right. Here we go.
That's a
Big
hit.
bonk.
All right. Big damage. Big damage. Big damage. Aha.
Small
That was enough for the other
baby damage.
one? For baby creature?
Not enough to destroy it in one hit.
Oh.
It is itty as well as bitty. Okay. I'm done.
Here's a question. Drea's scythe has reach. So seeing that, she's actually going to turn and try and strike at the little one.
Hey.
And is going to do enough damage to finish it off. And And then needs to make a save.
Oh!
And manages to time it just right and rolls, breaking the stone off from her that was starting to petrify her. She does take
That's
a moment.
impressive.
Yeah. Well, you
Quite
know, she's a
appropriate
samurai.
that She's good at rolling with the Dark Soul scythe.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Ocean.
Thinking about doing
This one is still very well healthed.
Yeah, because me and Drea have been playing it. And by that I mean missing.
Why don't you two do something useful like spells?
So, like, if I cast Aid, would this help Ashal with Petrify?
Bless would. Aid would.
Toughness and Resolve.
Yeah, no, Bless would. Because what's going to happen is he's going to need to make a save. If you have Bless prepared.
You know, Ian, if you don't make the save, don't worry. I will smash
Bless
your
would have
legs
been a
off.
really good idea at the start of this fight.
It's not like Ashal.
Exactly. He floats.
Whole new
it's
whole new
fine.
meaning to sweep the leg.
He's going to fall to the ground if he fails this save. Is the
Fine.
thing.
Is my mark Toll the Dead.
Ooh.
Why is that?
Damn, on a shell? Just make it quick.
It's going to fail. It's going to fail. It's going to take all of that damage. Well, actually,
I think
not
it
all
only
of that
can take
damage. It's going to take 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What?
That is the downside.
that is the
to rolling it
downside.
like
It's the downside to seeing both.
Mm.
You know.
that. Yeah.
But successful spell
Can I-
cast.
Bonus action. Am I able to summon my spiritual weapon?
Yes, if you have the
Okay.
spell slots. Where the fuck
So,
did I leave
little
that thing?
hand scythe. Oh, that's right.
Here it is.
Spell slots.
You do have enough spell slots
Oh,
for that. It's only
don't tell me you've been ignoring spell slots.
Don't worry, I have been keeping proper track of that.
This is why your last character was a warlock, so you didn't have to think about it. Where do you want the scythe to be? Like here?
Yeet.
Cool.
I want it in blending distance.
Oh, I thought that was a flag, and I got really confused.
Oh no, it's Drea's death scythe, Ocean's death scythe. That's kind of inspired by Drea's death scythe.
My favorite Gundam.
Oh, in that case,
Oh, nice.
Oh wait, it gets to attack this turn. We'll go ahead and roll it.
I can tell you,
That's a miss.
as an expert in these, that does not hit.
No.
Well versed in the 14s.
Speaking of Ashal,
Ashal is going to.
who's actually been doing a lot more than usual.
Yes. Ashal is going to Mind Sliver.
It would be one thing if Ashal just summoned this thing and went, "All right, my job here is done."
Yeah.
Smoke it away.
This is he passes.
Drat. Okay. I guess that ends my turn.
Do you have to make a saving throw?
Presumably.
Yeah, if you're still slowed, you need to make a saving throw.
No, a saving throw against.
Because you're turning to stone, and I remembered. Yes, please, a dexterity saving throw. It's only very
I'm gonna put
important.
a symbol on so I remember I'm slowed, actually. That's a good idea.
Oh, dear.
There is a soft clunk as Ashal falls to the ground, completely petrified,
Wow, it was
made
that quick?
of stone.
Oh dear.
Look at that even better. Nice grey color.
Well, it was either going to be 2 or 3 turns, I figured, at most. So yeah, 2 saves.
And the creature has
I have a
no.
chance to like lop his head off and take his brain squid safety.
Well, the interesting thing now is, I hope that this ritual is going to fulfill itself without my input.
Oh, your mind's restricted, right?
Ah.
Bogdan, can you please give me a Constitution save?
Gladly.
Blast of yellowish spores.
Oh, poodoo.
You're gonna get paralyzed.
Oh no.
Am I turning to stone?
No. You're just paralyzed.
Oh. Well, in
like,
that case.
You'll get better as you feel all the like nerves, the electricity in your nerves starting to surge, and like your muscles lock up. Please make me that save again. That's all you can do on your turn. Yeah, it used stun spore.
Ah,
That was very close, but still a failure.
very close. Still a failure.
Drea, unlike some people, is not made of stone right now.
Yet.
I feel so called out right now.
And unlike someone actually is.
Oh.
Wow.
DMPC favoritism. You heard it here first.
Save us, DMPC.
Slicing into the creature. Ocean.
Ocean's going to fret over our Shal, to say it mildly, but also buzzsaw the thingy.
Just sends the scythe to like start spinning while tending
Yeah.
to a shawl. That's gonna be a miss.
Why though? Why?
Hello, fellow Tumulus.
I see you too are Tumulus. Ashal? Oh wait, Tumulus.
It is a valid question though, because I am a mind flayer. Is my brain like stoned as well? Or?
You are.
Yeah, you gotta stop huffing spores.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're all stone.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you thought they were grey spores, they were just really green spores.
It's just a weed demon from like an old exploitation movie. Tumulus, what would you like to do?
I'd like to actually hit this person.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'd like? I'd like to get a natural 20 along with it.
And
That's
Oh.
good enough. I don't complain. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Bonk. With bonk.
Oh,
Added bomb.
of course, added
There's
bomb.
a crack of bright light as the sensor makes contact.
And it like knocks the thing it's like through the air. This cloud of spores.
Honest, this is probably not the time for me to split it, is it?
Nope. But it is the time for you to get a face full of blackish spores. Please give me a Constitution save, Tumulus.
Oh, I need to make my wisdom save. Make my wisdom save.
Wisdom first, then hey, you're no longer slowed, and
It's all coming back.
you're gonna only take half damage from this. And that's good, because I rolled high on just rolling half of it. 23 necrotic damage is what you're going to take. That is already pre-halved.
Okay.
You can only rot Tumulus so much more.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Minus.
Bogdan, can you please give me a Constitution save?
Oh, I clicked on it. There it goes.
Your paralysis ends, and you can act next turn.
All right.
Glad that a lot of these have been Constitution.
Yeah, I think that's the fourth time I've rolled Constitution, and it's the first time I've succeeded. So,
Yeah, it's been Constitution, but your guys haven't been doing well on them. Ocean, your turn to act again.
Hiya!
Toll the dead.
Toll the dead.
It's gonna fail. It's gonna take 4 necrotic. Spiritual weapon is going to keep missing.
God.
It's like a dance of the scythe trying to cut after the thing and the thing moving, and you cut through the clouds but not the creature. Tumulus.
It's like that joke about the Dragon Ball Z where they're trying to direct the spinning circle of death. Just come on. Let's put the batteries back into it.
The scythe?
Yes.
The vibrating death scythe?
Don't say that.
Tumulus, what would you like to do? Tumulus?
Wow, it's me again already? That came
Well,
around so quick.
2 of your party members were unable to act for a while.
I'm gonna successfully bonk this person again. I'm on a roll here.
I'm temporarily
That's a hit!
permanently unable to act.
Here we go. Bonk. Donk.
How would you like to give the final bonk?
Oh.
Tumulus spins up his sensor, and as he does, there's a small amount of golden light inside the sensor itself, and as he slams it into it, the sensor sort of embeds itself in the mushroom, and then the golden light spreads out across it, and in the instant, it just stops moving.
It stops moving, it shrinks. All the other ones on the floor also shrink and then together again into kind of a crystallized essence. It kind of looks like it. It's like it's kind of smooth in the middle and spiky on the outside. And that's when you can all kind of take a moment to realize exactly what's happened. The entity is defeated. Ashal has turned to stone.
I kind of get this is kind of my comeuppance for not just being like, yeah, I squish it. This is my comeuppance for saying I wanted to catch the thing and not telling anyone else, but I could have just instantly just gone smush.
Bastard. You bastard!
I wouldn't have been able to do that cool fight if I didn't convince you to continue with magic shenanigans.
You're
Science
welcome.
got the better of him.
You're welcome.
This is why you tell the family things.
This problem can This is where we end off today's session. The problem of Ashal being stoned out of his mind, quite literally, is something we'll have to deal with next time. Before we go, why don't we talk a real quick bit about what we got going on, starting with Jack and our esteemed guest. I think basically the first actual real guest on a Jarviskjir show too, not just yeah.
You're overinflating me, but that's all right. I'll take it.
You did cast Enlarge earlier.
I did cast Enlarge. Hi everybody, Jakin. You can find me every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central North American, and right now we're playing over at Dire Roll. We're playing. Oh, and it's at twitch.tv/JakinZol. And we are currently playing an alternative campaign, which is science fiction, and we're very deep in it. And it's a lot of fun. Players almost died last week, but then they didn't. And we also, not trying to roll up on Ollie Rand stuff, but we also have lots of technical difficulties.
Then our communities will do well together. This is a marriage made in heaven. The kingdoms shall thrive. Speaking of kingdoms, Neil, what do you have going on?
Hey, you can also find me on twitch.tv/DaleRick, where I was a king. That character, unfortunately, met some divine justice for some deals with devils. But that's okay, because now I play a nice foxman, Kitsune. And the saga continues. We're in the astral plane, and things are different. It's a Pathfinder campaign, so things are very different. So tune in if you want to see me be remorselessly pounded by a system that doesn't. No, that's not true. I've got like a +20 on acrobatics. It's just different.
I do not understand Pathfinder, and at this point, I'm too scared to find out.
Correct. Pathfinder can go back into the ground where it belongs. Anyway, Zoe and Ian, anything you'd like to talk about before we end?
Well, typical plugging of Ollie's Patreon. If you like listening to me and Neil rambling, we also ramble on Mondays. that is a podcast-only game. There are currently like 6 PCs in that game, which makes it interesting.
It's a very large party, and you adopted a guy
Couple-
called Roy as well.
Yeah, we've got. It's a fun dynamic on Mondays. It's quite
It
traditional.
is.
D&D.
I like it. I like it.
The Monday campaign on Patreon is very much a traditional D&D campaign plus a sailing campaign. So it's very fun, a little goofy, a little silly.
It's nice. We got a mix of new players to D&D and veterans, and it's showing how easily it all meshes together in 5e. It's
And
super.
I get to be a fun wild card and like surprise everybody when I want to drop in or not. Except Ollie. Ollie is in on the surprise.
I usually know.
Usually.
Awesome. That's that. That's really it all. I mean, you can watch us here on Wednesdays. You can also watch me on Fridays at 11 p.m. GMT on Fable Scraps, where I run Doomlore, a 40k story. There's a Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy campaign with a bunch of big-time streamers, big boys. And if you like skulls, that's the campaign for you.
I like skulls. I have a skull.
Exactly. It's a very, there's a market audience for it.
Very relatable.
You can also keep up to date on all the things that we're doing, especially the upcoming board game series Schism on here and on Twitter and on our Discord. If you're new, I recommend joining Discord. It's chill. We talk about D&D stuff. And that's that. We will be back next time to deal with the aftermath of this situation.
I was just gonna say, I think talk about D&D stuff is a bit, maybe meme about D&D stuff would be more.
I try to talk. All I get are memes. Alright. See you next
You
time,
sound like
folks.
a dungeon master.
Yeah!
Yeah, that's true.
Bye-bye!
Bye. I for that. Goodbye.